I put a poll out on X talking about the Bitcoin price. Where will it be on January 1st? Where is it going to start 2025? Is it going to be at 100K? Is it going to be below 100K? Will there be a sell-off? I think there's going to be a sell-off in January, and I will tell you why. But let's take a look at the poll first. So according to X, and I'm totally going to fade this. I'm totally going to fade the results of X polls, saying most people think Bitcoin is going to be over 100,000 on January 1st. This is from a couple days ago. And then the number 2 option was 95K. So let's say it's going to be between 95 and 100K. I don't think it's going to be there. I think it's going to be lower. And I think we have a chance to even go back down to around like 75K. I know you don't want to hear that. That's really bad for your altcoin bags, but let's look at why. All right, so here's TradingView. If you know me, you know I'm not a trader, but I do use TradingView. I especially like to use it for my entries and exits. And you could see Bitcoin. I drew this horizontal line to show the all-time high, which is about 73,000 US dollars, 73.5 to be exact. And it basically ran up to 107,000. What usually happens is that there's a correction, right? And there's a little correction here. This is really nothing. If you're worried about this correction, I don't think you should be in crypto. But what usually happens, even if it takes a long time, there's usually this gap fill. And I know a lot of traders don't believe that that's a thing. And I'm not going to say one way or the other. I'm not a trader. I'm the DCA guy. I buy on regular intervals or I buy dips. I'm not looking to trade my Bitcoin. But I do believe to an extent Bitcoin has to correct. And it's going to correct for really 2 reasons, in my opinion. Number 1, it's because it's going to fill the gap. I don't know if it's going to fill the gap in January or it's going to fill the gap next January, but I do think we are going to see, 73K at some point. Okay, that's why I wasn't buying up here like a lot of people were, like Michael Saylor, buying the top. Good for you. You bought the top. You let people cash out at the top by creating volume there. But I think it's going to come down simply because after December 30th or 31st, I don't even know how many days are in December. But what I do know is at the stroke of midnight, January 1st, it's a new year, which is a new tax year in the United States. Almost everybody who bought crypto or who bought Bitcoin in 2024 is up huge. And they're not going to take profits the last week of December when they could just wait a week and book those profits for 2025, not having to pay the taxes on it till 2026. That is a thing, whether you believe me or not. And I do think people will do that. I think there's going to be a lull in the crypto markets in January. And I think it's mostly going to be motivated by Americans who don't want to have to pay the taxes in 4 months. They'd rather wait, 15, 16 months to pay those taxes. And not only is it logical, we've seen stuff like this play out before. When everyone's down for the year, the selling happens before January 1st. When everyone's up for the year, the selling should happen after the turn of the calendar. And what do? Because I'm DCA guy, I'm not trading. I have a bunch of limit orders, and I'll show you where I plan to buy if there is a dip. And look, if there's not a dip and none of my limit orders fill ever, I'm totally fine with that because I've been long Bitcoin, as long as I can remember, as long as I've had Twitter, right? I've been long Bitcoin. So my first limit order is actually going to be right about here. So I got a limit order here. I'll use the heart. All right. So that's my first limit order. It's about it's about 87K, right? So if we get like a small, I'm going to pick up a little bit there. I've got another dip right about here, where between 73 and 76K. This limit order is larger than this one. So if we dip down and my first order fills, but we keep dropping, I pick up even more down here. So if we get a bounce, I could sell. And even though I bought a little higher than what the bounce might be, I could sell and make a little profit if I wanted to swing trade that way. But I also have limit orders right around here. I like to put my limit orders where there was volume in the past, right? So looks like here, 65K. Nobody wants to hear this, but I think it's worthwhile to have some limit orders, some stink bids. But yeah, I'm a Bitcoin bull. I do think we'll see a pullback in January, but like I said, if we don't, I'm totally okay with that. I don't need my limit orders to fill to change my life. I would like my limit orders to fill before we run up again, which I think we will. I don't think we're done. We could be done, but I hope we're not, and I don't think we are. I think that we'll get maybe some action at the end of January, inauguration, some announcements and all that. People will be laser focused on what the new U.S. administration does, and I'll be all over that. So good luck. If you have any better ideas, obviously let me know, or you can join my Telegram. Like I said, I got all my bids in there, all my trades, my portfolio activity. Check it out.